On this episode of Postcards.
It's crazy what's happened to my life. This wasn't planned. It just grew.
I like teaching because you see when they first start, I can't do this, no I can't, yes you can.
I think people need to know about my photography is that it's supposed to push boundaries.
Postcards is made possible by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund and the citizens of Minnesota. Additional support provided by Margaret A. Cargill Philanthropies, Mark and Margaret Yackel-Julien on behalf of Shalom Hill Farms, a retreat and conference center in a prairie setting near Windham, Minnesota, on the web at shalomhillfarm.org. Alexandria, Minnesota, a year-round destination with hundreds of lakes, trails, and attractions for memorable vacations and events. More information at explorealex.com. The Lake Region Arts Council's Arts Calendar, an arts and cultural heritage funded digital calendar showcasing upcoming art events and opportunities for artists in West Central Minnesota, on the web at lrac4calendar.org.
I'm 82 and started collecting probably when I was married at about 20. And I've gotten more involved in Scandinavian everything as I've aged. And my painting was Norwegian rosemalling and Swedish dalamalling. Most of my work was in Norwegian rosemalling. I did it for 50 years. Painted rosemalling for 50 years. That's a long time. I had a medical problem and I couldn't stay alone, but there's nothing like home. I'm hoping I can come back. There's been talk about doing something with my home in association with the art school. I would like that, but that takes a lot of preparation. Could it be a place for students to stay, teachers to stay that teach over at the school? People that come here love it. They tell me, what do you think of it? How does the house make me feel? It's kind of my creative home. Everything's hand done, done with love and caring. This is a remodeled house my husband and I bought. I believe we paid $7,100 for the house, which today is laughable. Then I met two fellows, Aaron and Arvid, the identical twin contractors from Flom, Minnesota, became friends of mine, and they ended up remodeling this place in a Scandinavian style. My kitchen is my favorite room. All the cupboards are Swedish design, and I love the colors in the kitchen. If there's one part of the house I'd take, it's my kitchen. If I could, and I can. So I hope whoever ends up with this can feel the love and the warmth I have for it. I hope that comes across. This is the Swedish bedroom. Everything is Swedish blue with a cupboard bed. In the back is a painting. It says Alderstrappen, which means steps of life. In the middle is the tree of life, and you can see on this corner, it's from the cradle. Over here you can see the church, a coffin to the grave. I always like really good quality woodenware. My mind starts to roll the minute I see it. What I'll put here in this place and this, and it was exciting. And I still love seeing new pieces of furniture that I can create on. When I started painting, I worked 10, 12 hours a day, every day. I would get up at 6, I would walk 3 miles, come home, work an hour in my garden, have a quick breakfast, and go out to my studio, and I worked there till 10, 11 o'clock. You have to have that dedication, I think, if you're going to get very good. At least I had to. I could afford classes down at Vesterheim once a year for a week. There was no one else up here that did it at that time when I started. I look at the shape I have to work with and imagine a design in that shape and then just start and fill in, and I balance everything color and weight-wise as I paint, and it's quite a quick process. I was quicker than I am now. But now I haven't really painted professionally for over a year, and can I ever tell it? I always loved to paint, and I liked art. One of the first things I did as a kid, and I should have known better, we had 4-H calves, and I became the laughing stock of our county fair because I trimmed their tails in a decorative way, and everybody just hooted at me. This is the bowl that I painted when I was a teenager in country school. It's rose mulling, but I didn't do it correctly, the painting. I didn't have any idea what it was, but it evidently appealed to me as a child. And here is what I did for a living. Isn't that strange? So my first class was at Decorah, Iowa. I can remember about the 3rd day, I jumped up and just yelled because I was satisfied with what I had done, and really it was terrible. But I felt good about that one time. Anyway, when I got home, I started painting, and it was all day, every day. Practice, 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 and people started hounding me. They wanted me to sell something, or they wanted me to teach. Well, I didn't know anything, but they said, you know more than we do, so I gave them what I could give them. And before you know it, I was teaching all over, and it just grew and grew and grew. And then I won awards down there. I've taught Canada and all over the United States. And here I am today, done about. I'm not up to par today, but that's the way it goes. I still have a cupboard to do. I'll do the best I can. It's for some loved ones. They'll be satisfied, I think. I think I've done good work. I've done the best I can. One teacher from Norway said my work was the best done in the United States. Now, I should never say that. It's like bragging. I don't mean to be, but it was quite a compliment coming from him. It's crazy what's happened to my life. This wasn't planned. It just grew. And I always went with something that came along, grabbed on and went with it. I never wanted to go very long without painting. You forget everything else. If you have problems, frustrations, they're gone. You just concentrate on what you're doing right now. The process of creating is wonderful.
My Uncle Doug originally started the pottery shop on Lower Sioux. At the old pottery shop, it used to be right behind us here, probably about a half a mile from here. And I was probably about 12 or 14. And I used to go over and hang out with him and watch him do his thing. And he'd let me try it every once in a while. And you know, young kid that I was, I didn't really get interested in it. And then later on, when I turned around, probably 17, 18, my brothers used to throw pots, so and then they got me into it. So then, there you have it.
Uncle Doug, he made it so interesting that you wanted to learn. My entire family, I have 4 older siblings, 4 younger siblings, so there's 9 of us, and every one of us worked at the pottery shop. My mother was a designer from, I think she started working there in maybe 74. It was almost like that was the only job on the reservation, and I more or less went to work there to earn money, but found out that I loved it. It was just, it's such a calming feeling that you get. You're in your own realm, and you can, it's like nothing bothers you. And I always say if people need therapy, start pottery, because it just, your inner being is just so focused that life's good. My son, who is the recreation director, wanted to do an after-school project for the kids. So we started the after-school program, which is going into its 4th year. We have kids from kindergarten through 12. It varies on a weekly basis how many children are there. I've had anywhere from 1 child to 27. And I think that we have some like budding potters now, or even at their young age. When I'm designing, it's kind of like the pots tell you. It's almost like they tell you what, I'll start with a basic line, and I only do the geometrics. I'm not like the more experienced artists where they'll make eagles and bears, but I've only done the geometrics, and that's what I was taught. That's what my mother's done. But I start with the simple baseline, and once I see that part, then I can continue and complete the pot. I think that when you're making pottery, or I believe that when you're making pottery, that you're putting a part of yourself into it. And when you give it to a person, you're giving a part of yourself to them. And people enjoy it. It's beautiful. It's a great memory, especially if you know that person. And I know every time somebody purchases a pot, they want to know who the designer was, who threw it. They want the history of the pot, not just the pot. They want to know the actual person behind it. And that's how I feel as far as pottery. It's part of me. Culturally, like the symbols that we put on the pots, if you've ever been to the petroglyphs and looked at the rocks formations out there, you'll see different symbols that we use on our pots. And when they have them on there, there's the meaning, and you know that symbol came from thousands of years ago. It wasn't something that just came off from the top of your head. The symbols mean something, and they meant something thousands of years ago too. It's not just today. This is something my great-great-great-great-grandmother used. And it's just like they use those symbols in beadwork, quill work. So the symbols aren't just on the pots, they're in all of our art forms because it's our history. Right now, with our apprentice work, we have sold pots at Upper Sioux Gift Shop, our gift shop, and out at the site, at the historical site. Our tribal council, they're encouraging it, so we're hoping to see it up and running again. I would like to see it like it was in the 70s and 80s. I would like to see a part of Lower Sioux history all over the United States and countries again. To me, it would be beautiful, and we have a beautiful, beautiful community, and we have so many artists that live here that, should be showcased.
There's a lot of artists on this reservation. I mean, nobody even really recognized. I'm not the only one that can throw pots, and I'm not the only one that can design a pot, which I welcome. I'd like to see this go. It's gonna be a journey, but, don't know unless you try, so.
There's a lot of satisfaction in teaching how to throw pottery, because with the older people, I always tell them, wait until you're sure of yourself when you're throwing, then comes the calm, because you know what you're doing and you're not worried about, oh, am I doing this right? Am I doing that right? All of that goes out the window, and you're throwing and you're just relaxed. I like teaching because you see when they first start, I can't do this, no I can't. Yes you can. Yeah, you just keep trying, and pretty soon they're throwing a pot and look what I did, I'm saving it for my mom. Once they've accomplished the throwing of a pot, the amazement and wonder in their eyes, it's like, wow, I did that. Yes, you did that.
My name is Karina Kells, and I'm a conceptual photographer. I base my photography on mental health issues and addiction issues. So kind of how I got into conceptual photography, I've always liked photography throughout my life, and during a car accident, I kind of changed my life where I am disabled. So I kind of got more into my art. And I found Ridgewater, and not long after that, my significant other committed suicide. He really pushed me to do photography, so I decided to get into it and just kind of go with it. So at first it was really hard for me to look at myself while I'm photoshopping and see that pain, because a lot of that pain came from his death. It's something that's really hard to get through, but over time I knew that that was something he wanted me to do. The one thing that I can find light out of it is that maybe I can advocate in whatever way that I can. It took a while though. I think people need to know about my photography is that it's supposed to push boundaries. It's supposed to get people talking and thinking about it. I do a lot on the mental health and then the addiction part, and I kind of go through an array of different mental health issues, from anxiety, depression, bipolar, schizophrenia. Some of them I've gone through, some of them I haven't, so some of them are hard to portray for myself, but even if my photographs just touch one person and they resonate with it, or it pushes somebody who doesn't believe in depression or mental health issues, like kind of get them thinking about it. A couple of my favorite images that I've created would be the one where I'm headless. I'm out in a field. A lot of people think it's like sand, but it's not. It's snow. It's super cold. And it was a lot of work. It took a long time, the session took a long time, and the editing took a long time. That is just a single one, but it's probably one of my favorite ones because it covers so many different mental health issues and so many, abuse or sexual abuse. People see that one in so many different directions, and that's what I love about that photo. I feel like my photography path has brought me a lot of healing. It's also brought me to realize and meet a lot of people with other mental health issues and realize, also like I'm not alone and that we can talk about it and possibly help each other. And having my shows around here has been really great because, I hear negative things and I hear positive things. And there's been, people, I post something on Facebook and there's been people who will message me and just say, I really needed that today and I really appreciate what you're doing. And I don't expect those things, but like hearing those things, even the negative things, is nice to hear because it means people are talking about it and thinking about it. I think it's brought me a lot of places and brought me a lot of recovery. I think being an artist around this area is very important, no matter what you do. I really like my photography being around here because it's more conservative, and a lot of people don't talk about what's going on in their lives or are scared or feel ashamed that they're taking medication for mental health issues or seeing a therapist and stuff like that, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. So I appreciate the artwork around here a lot, and the other artists around here are amazing, and I think it's really great to have kind of an art community around here, whether it's painting, photography. My advice to other artists that are struggling with mental health issues or people in general would be to, as your best, to keep trying to move forward. The best thing you can do is get help, see a therapist, or take medications that sometimes are needed just for that extra help, because sometimes therapy doesn't do everything for you. I would also suggest with like artists to keep, as much as it's hard to get up and do that artwork, to keep doing it, because you can use it as something to let go. And a lot of times you want to isolate and kind of just lay in bed, but as much as you want to, I would suggest just one step at a time. Even if it's a small step, like getting out of bed and moving to the couch. We have to be joyous of even those little steps, even though they may seem so small.
Have an idea for postcards? Send your story suggestions to postcards@pioneer.org. Postcards is made possible by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund and the citizens of Minnesota. Additional support provided by Margaret A. Cargill Philanthropies, Mark and Margaret Yackel-Julien on behalf of Shalom Hill Farms, a retreat and conference center in a prairie setting near Windham, Minnesota. On the web at shalomhillfarm.org. Alexandria, Minnesota, a year-round destination with hundreds of lakes, trails, and attractions for memorable vacations and events. More information at explorealex.com. The Lake Region Arts Council's Arts Calendar, an arts and cultural heritage funded digital calendar showcasing upcoming art events and opportunities for artists in West Central Minnesota. On the web at lrac4calendar.org.